morning, everyone. Please be seated and turn in your liturgy books to page 2. Gata of Atonement, all evil karma ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought, now I atone for it all evil karma ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought, now I atone for it all evil karma ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought, now I atone for it all. Nikaya 3 Refuges. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. I take refuge in Sangha. The 5 remembrances. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. This precious human life, rarely encountered, is easily lost. Now that I have life and opportunity, may I practice the Dharma wholeheartedly. Mahayana refuge. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. Invocation of the lineage. I give thanks for the guidance of my teachers, for the lineage of teachers before them. I give thanks and offerings for their devoted practice of generosity, moral discipline, patience, joyful effort, concentration, wisdom, skillful means, unshakable vow, spiritual powers, and awakened awareness for my benefit. May their years of life be lengthened, and may their vows be completely realized. May I cultivate these perfections with their guidance. 7 practices of the Bodhisattva. I bow down in body, speech, and mind. I offer the best I have to give, both real and imagined, to fill the space between us. I regret and purify all transgressions. I rejoice in all virtues. I request you to remain until total enlightenment. I request wise and compassionate guidance. I dedicate my merit for the sake of all beings. Generating love and compassion, may all sentient beings be free from clinging and hatred. Being close to some and distant from others, how wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will free them from clinging and hatred. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them happiness and the causes of happiness. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will free them from suffering and the causes of suffering. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings have the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from clinging, hatred, jealousy, miserliness, doubt, pride, wrong view, ignorance, and dualistic thoughts. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them to this state. Bless me to accomplish this. Please stand for the Heart Sutra. Great Prajna Paramita Heart Sutra, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, practicing deep Prajna Paramita, clearly saw that all five skandhas are empty, transforming all suffering and distress. Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form, form is exactly emptiness, emptiness exactly form, sensation, perception, mental reaction, consciousness are also like this. Shariputra, all things are essentially empty, not born, not destroyed, not stained, not pure, without loss, without gain. Therefore, in emptiness emptiness. There is no form, no sensation, perception, mental reaction, consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no color, sound, smell, taste, touch, object of thought, no seeing, and so on, to no thinking, no ignorance, and also no ending of ignorance, and so on, to no old age and death, and also no ending of old age and death, no suffering, cause of suffering, cessation, path, no wisdom, and no attainment, since there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva lives by prajna paramita, with no hindrance in the mind, no hindrance, and therefore no fear, far beyond delusive thinking. Right here is nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future live by prajna paramita, attaining Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Therefore know that prajna paramita is the great sacred mantra, the great vivid mantra, the unsurpassed mantra, the supreme mantra, which completely removes all suffering. This is truth, not mere formality. Therefore set forth the prajna paramita mantra. Set forth this mantra and proclaim Gate Gate Para Gate Parsam Gate Bodhisvaha Gate Gate Para Gate Parsam Gate Bodhisvaha Gate Gate Para Gate Parsam Gate Bodhisvaha. Infinite realms of light and dark convey the Buddha mind. All that is and we ourselves come forth in perfect harmony. We offer this sincere and devoted practice for the many beings of the 6 worlds, and dedicated in grateful thanks to the strength and sound practice of the great Heartland Sangha and its teachers. May our virtuous actions be clear from all interferences, and may our vows be fully realized. We especially dedicate these merits to Debbie, Wayne, Sokai, Martin, may they have peace and healing, Marvin, Kathleen, Bam Bam, and Veronica at the times of their deaths, as well as those whose names we hold in the silence of our hearts, and those whose names we now voice aloud. May we live in perfect peace with Buddha Dharma, and may we realize the Buddha way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones. Prajna Paramita. Please prepare for Zazen. the sound of the clappers, the first and third rows will turn to the right, and the second and fourth rows to the left.
We will now recite the Sangha Covenant, which can be found in your liturgy book at the top of page 8. We, the Daishin Kokuji Sangha, with respect for the worth and dignity of each person, with wonder at the wisdom and compassion that we seek to cultivate by practice, and with deep gratitude for the teachers of this lineage and our connection to one another, covenant to support each other by upholding the precepts of doing no harm, practicing good, and actualizing good for others. Please be seated for today's Dharma talk. Sit comfortably so you can make eye contact with the teachers. And if you're in a chair, please be sure you are positioned so you do not obscure the vision of others. Thank you. Gata on opening the sutra. The Dharma incomparably profound and infinitely subtle is rarely encountered even in millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, receive and maintain it. May we completely realize the Tathagata's true meaning.
Good afternoon. It's high noon, exactly. Lovely, lovely to have everyone here. Thank you so much for coming. We will continue on. Well, actually, before we continue on, I wanted to say something about posture during kinhin. So I'm noticing the tendency is to kind of like huddle in and huddle around when you're doing kinhin. So when you're walking, the Buddha is walking. The Buddha is lifting one foot in front of the other. And you know, sometimes the Buddha's like that. But I don't think he would have been quite as inspiring back in the day, right? Part of one of the marks of the Buddha's enlightenment was that there was this sort of regal bearing, right? And this is our birthright. This is our heritage. So what would it be like if you did kinhin as the regal Buddha and actually let your heart lead and your hara lead? It would be good, would it not? Yes. Let's try. Okay. So, Eihei Dogen's Guidelines for Studying the Way, which in Japanese is Kakudo Yoshin Chu. Okay. So we looked at the first paragraph the last time we examined this text, and now we're going to go on to the second and third. Indeed, when you understand the discontinuity, the notion of self does not come into being. Ideas of name and gain do not arise. Fearing the swift passage of the sunlight, practice the way as though saving your head from fire. That's a very famous quote, by the way. Practice the way as though saving your head from fire. Reflecting on this ephemeral life, make endeavor in the manner of Buddha raising their foot. Right? When you hear a song of praise sung by a Kanara god or a Kalavenka bird, let it be as the evening breeze brushing against your ears. If you see the beautiful face of Mao Shuang or Shui Si, let it be like the morning dewdrops coming into your sight. Freedom from the ties of sound and form naturally accords with the essence of the way-seeking mind. The essence of the way-seeking mind. It's very interesting. I had a student call me the other day and ask, you know, I have a friend who's really interested in socially engaged Buddhism. And I was thinking about giving her a book on the paramitas, the perfections of the character of the bodhisattva as they move through the world. But I didn't feel like it really addressed the whole social concern, engaged social action directly. So I didn't do it. And she said, so what do you recommend that I give this person to read? And I said, a book on the paramitas. Why did I say that? Because this is like this precious treasure practicing the Dharma that has come down through generation after generation and after generation. And the preciousness comes from its capacity to be able to transform our consciousness. This is actually what our practice is for. To transform our own consciousness so that we can live out of this essence of our way-seeking mind, so that we can live out of the essence of our Buddhahood, so that we can lift our foot in Kinhin as the Buddha. Now, when the Buddha arose from that tree so many thousands of years ago, he was walking around just being his Buddha self, right? No big deal. But there was something happening around him and through his consciousness moving through the world that a few of his students from before saw him and went, "Oh my God, what happened to you?" Right? So this is what we're doing. You're sitting in the Zendo, going directly and with so much faith and devotion and care into the essence of your Buddha nature here, so that when you go out into the world, people will be like, "Oh my God, what happened to you?" Something's going on there, right? And of course, we flip, we flop, we fail, we get up, the whole 9 yards. But fundamentally, something does shift. The cells of your body, your DNA is actually transforming. And it shows. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that's a pretty good start, a pretty good basis for walking out into the world as a socially engaged being. And we do that in many ways here. But the main reason why we're here is to transform our hearts, to transform our minds, to transform our bodies, so that we come more and more into alignment with our birthright as Buddhas, our birthright as being able to express the highest level of human dignity, so that we can maybe make some good in the world that hasn't been here before. Indeed, when you understand the discontinuity, so right there, when you understand the discontinuity, this understand is actually not a really good translation. I think a better translation is when you experience the discontinuity. And so much of sitting is this sort of wisdom mirror practice of directly for ourselves experiencing the discontinuity and not freaking out, right? That's the main piece. Don't freak out, right? I mean, Roshi is just like a master at not freaking out, right? I mean, he has taught me so much about how to just acknowledge what's happening and just stay with it, and inside of staying with it, to be able to shift it. And you know what? Just a tiny little shift, good. We're good, right? Whereas before I used to sort of like, just the bull in the china shop kind of thing, So understand when we experience the discontinuity of the moment that we're in. Isn't that exactly what practice is on the cushion? Sitting there, all kinds of sensation and thought and everything sort of rolling through us and as us. The notion of self does not come into being. So here it's the notion of a fixed self, because we're actually living in accord with the reality of change and impermanence and the truth of what our human samsaric life actually feels like, right? All the highs and the lows and the confusions and the clarities and all the things that go on, right? And still, we're sitting and we're staying with the breath, and the mind is riding the breath. And the breath is showing us this whole other truth that never fails, right? That is so profoundly healing and loving and reliable, even in the midst of blah, 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 right? The notion of a fixed self does not come into being. Ideas of name and gain do not arise. So remember that the samsaric mind, the mind of this and that, the mind that we are conditioned into, functions through imputation. This is this, that's that, this is this, that's that. I remember when I first started sitting, literally that's what my mind would do the whole time I was sitting. Oh, this is that, and this is that, and this is actually that. And it took years and years for that naming, trying to grasp and make sense of everything, to just settle down and just trust. Okay, what's happening here? This sort of like deep curiosity. Deep, deep, what is the truth of this moment? What is this? What is this? A little bit like, in The Wizard of Oz when they pull the curtain back and there's a man behind the curtain with all the levers, Oh, so what's behind the man behind the curtain? This is Zen, right? Name and gain do not arise. So what am I going to get out of this? Am I going to be 10% happier if I'm sitting on this cushion with these people? You're so damn okay that you never even think about, oh, I've got to be somewhere else, right? This is so curious. This is so interesting. This is so profoundly fulfilling. This entering into the essence of our Buddhahood. I think I heard someone say the other day, my child is afraid that, all the adventures of life are done. And they're like 20-something years old, right? And I felt like, well, they should get on the cushion, man. Like all the adventures are right there. Are right there. Fearing the swift passage of the sunlight, practice the way as though saving your head from fire. So, yeah, days and nights go by like lightning. Honestly, it's hard to get that even when you're getting older. It's really hard to stay with, yeah. If I'm lucky, there's only so many years left, I better stay focused, right? Practice the way as though saving your head from fire. You're actually saving all sentient beings from the fire and hell, damnation and brimstone of samsaric life. Through your own consciousness. The thing that you can actually affect most completely and most fully. And make no mistake, this work that you're doing on your own heart, on your own mind, on your own perception, shifting your perception to non-dual awareness, tenderizing and softening your heart to be able to accept more and more truth. This pervades everywhere. Reflecting on this ephemeral life, make endeavor in the manner of a Buddha raising their foot. Now, this particular section here, in the manner of a Buddha raising their foot, this is actually a koan. Okay? How does the Buddha raise their foot? Answer? Come on, come on. Yes, yes, yes. How does the Buddha raise their foot? Yes. How does the Buddha raise their foot? Yes. And one more time. How does the Buddha raise their hand? Whoa. Yes, 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 yes. I mean, even just that little bit, just feeling the joy of that. And yeah, just the joy of that. When you hear a song of praise sung by a Kanara god or a Kalavenka bird, so a Kanara god is a god that has a human head and a bird body. And they're associated with love and music and seduction and, yeah, all those kind of things. And the Kalavinka bird is the same, but they look a little different. They've got a human head, a bird body, and they've got these really long red tails that just swirl out. So if you're ever in the museum and you see one of these images, you can excuse me, that's just like a Kalavanka bird, Let it be the evening breeze brushing against your ears. So totally enjoy that. Totally experience that, right? Don't turn away from that. And don't cling to that, right? Don't let it knit into your mind as some sort of net of collections of how fabulous am I because the Kalavinka bird just blew by, right? I am so special. Or, this is really great. I think, maybe I could sort of brand this in some way. If you see the beautiful face of Miao Kuang or Shui Shui, let it be like the morning dewdrops coming into your sight. Again, totally enjoying that. This is the Buddha appearing, right? This is the Buddha appearing. Make no mistake. But we don't cling to it. We don't grasp it. We don't use it as a collection for our jewelry box of self. All the wonderful ornaments we trot out as I. Now, make no mistake, if you've got some really cool jewels and you're really good at something, you definitely want to put them out there. And you want to put them out there to help others. Absolutely, go for it. We need more jewels out there shining forth. But just don't get confused that that is somehow your true essence self. It's not. So much more than that. You're so much brighter than that. Constancy, purity, bliss, self with a capital S, not relying on whatever's coming or going or appearing or not appearing. What is that? Freedom from the ties of sound and form naturally accords with the essence of the way-seeking mind. So here Dogen's just reaffirming what we've been talking about. And the key word here is ties. Anything that binds you to a fixed sense of I am, who I am, who I am, who I am, and you are who you are, and who you are, and who you are, and you will never change. I will never change. That's the tie that binds you. Because what do we see when we're sitting on the cushion? Total discontinuity. Total change. You can't hang on to a thought in your head. Freedom from the ties of sound and form naturally accords with the essence of the way-seeking mind. So the way-seeking mind is so, makes its home, shall we say, in total comfort and ease with discontinuity, right? And total comfort, ease, trust in that which doesn't change. And the two of those work together all throughout our life. That's our life. Those two things working together. Constancy, purity, bliss, self. Sometimes it's said that the self, the small self, rests upon and in the larger self, the S, the big S self. That is the essence of practicing the way-seeking mind. And everybody's looking for that place and that way to rest in the self with a big S, not the little one that causes all the mischief. So may we practice well and enjoy our practice, give it away to all beings throughout space and time. May it be so.
Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. I believe we may have a few announcements.
Good morning, my name is Ankin. It is Shogun Initiate season again. So if you've been a Jukai member and had your Raksu for at least a year, you are eligible. If you want to know more about what that means, you can see anyone with a gray robe. And if you would like to sign up, please contact me directly. Thanks.
My name is Kensei. This is the last day for Sangha Circle signups. Please do it this afternoon if you haven't and you want to. And if you have signed up, you will hear about your Sangha Circle assignment on Tuesday or Wednesday in your email that you use to sign up. So check your email for that information. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jakai. If you're a member of Temple, you received a mailing, an email this week about Ango starting next week. There are lots of links in that. If you can kind of mark that email and go back to it for details. If you're not a member and you'd like to participate in some of those things that are open for members to intensify our practice, please see me or anyone in a gray robe or black robe about pursuing membership. There are 2 dates I just want to bring to your attention. One is coming up fast, September 17th after service. We're having a potluck and an annual meeting, and really hope that you can attend. And the other is October 13th and 14th. We're having a big temple project day, so if you can join us for any of that, all the details are in that email. Thank you.
My name is Tensen. I just noticed that our lost and found box is really full. So there's casserole dishes in there, there's mugs in there, there's clothes in there. So, maybe before you leave today, and take a little peek. And if you don't know where that's located, just see me and I'll direct you. Thank you.
Anyone else? I guess not. Okay. We will be having lunch at the sound of the gong. So thank you very much, and please restore the zendo.